सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर्नब मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना,
अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना,
इंडिया सोना।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
Some places feel like they've been waiting for you, where every piece speaks of legacy, from diamonds that celebrate ambition to festive gold that honors tradition. LD Sons.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
India is all set to conduct a large-scale tri-services military exercise named Exercise Trishul along the western border near the disputed Sir Creek area. This exercise will involve the Army, Navy and Air Force and is being called unprecedented in both scale and operational complexity. Satellite images analyzed by defense experts show that the airspace reserved for the exercise will extend up to 28,000 feet. This is unusual for a routine military drill and indicates the seriousness with which India is approaching this operation. The exercise will run from October 30 to November.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Smartphones to your smart televisions, trending stories are breaking the internet. Tonight, we start off with celebrating the Indian women's cricket team clinching its maiden World Cup champions title, cheers for which are erupting throughout the nation. Accolades have been streaming in from across the world. But what's truly taken the internet by storm are the Playing 11's own posts acknowledging their milestone achievement. Next, Indian women truly seem to be making their mark on the globe as the other end, Indian Paralympic rifle shooter Avni Lekhara wins gold at the Parachuting World Cup at Dubai. And speaking of what's viral and trending, let's not forget the latest stir in the New York City mayoral elections race as US President Donald Trump hits headlines for reportedly expressing support for candidate Andrew Cuomo, for which fellow mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani promptly hit back via post on X, leaving citizens in splits. We have this and a lot more packed in this episode for you. I'm Oyana Mitra and this is Trending. First, there was Kapil Dev, then Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, and now it's Harmanpreet Kaur. The Indian women's cricket team has now etched its name in history, turning long-cherished dreams into reality by clinching its maiden World Cup title on Sunday. And the win was no less than a nail-biting, spectacular one as India celebrated a 52-run commanding victory at its home ground, led by all-round performances from Deepti Sharma and Shefali Verma. The match, played at Navi Mumbai's D.Y. Patil Stadium, was no less than an iconic one, with many of visuals having gone viral and absolutely trending on the internet. From nail-biting catches to jaw-dropping wickets and heartwarming moments as our team brought in its maiden title victory, viral moments here have quite a range. Take a look. Famously now known as the catch that turned the tide of the match was Amanjot Kaur's breathtaker of a catch as she almost dropped the ball and ended up saving the catch in a split second. Sealing the win is captain Harmanpreet, taking Nadine de Klerk's wicket with a prompt catch as India and the rest of the team heaves a sigh of relief and erupts in cheers. And up next, we have those visuals of Smriti and Harmanpreet hugging while enveloped by the Indian flag as netizens go all over the heartfelt gesture. Smriti Mandhana and Harmanpreet Kaur made it to yet another iconic frame as they posed with the trophy while wearing the Indian flag. Fans were left reminiscing when Indian men's cricket famous duo Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli had originally propped this pose at their winning celebrations for the 2024 T20 Championship victory. In what fans allege to be a real-life Kabir Khan moment from Chak De India, visuals from the post-match celebrations show Captain Kaur touching the feet of Anmol Majumdar, the Indian women cricket team coach. The joyous mood was only amplified as visuals show winning team captain Harmanpreet Kaur breaking into a Bhangra routine as she walks onto the stage to receive the World Cup Champions Trophy. The audience and fans couldn't help but crack a smile as they cheered her on. As the Indian women's cricket team lifted the trophy amidst pomp and cheer, star player Jemimah Rodriguez added to the festive mood as she lay on the floor, capturing the win in her trademark selfie, thrilling fans all around. The audience were equally overjoyed as the women's cricket team celebrated their clinching their maiden World Cup champions title. Former Indian captain Rohit Sharma, who was also present amongst the audience, looked on teary-eyed as he cheered the winners along. The moment promptly went viral on the internet, with netizens lauding the support and reminiscing Rohit's 2023 November World Cup loss. And visuals released from the winning celebrations also show the heartwarming visuals of Indian women cricket veterans such as Jhulan Goswami, Mithali Raj and Anjum Chopra celebrating the victory alongside the current playing 11. Fans were almost teary-eyed as they clamored in appreciation of the beautiful celebrations. And as India dons the title of the World Cup champions, the accolades for the players kept coming in. Shefali Verma, notably, was crowned the player of the match as her all-round performance powered India to its first ever Women's World Cup title as the 21-year-old struck 87 of 78 balls and picked up 2 key wickets in a 52-run win over South Africa. This is a particularly remarkable feat as she was drafted into India's World Cup squad as a replacement for Pratika Rawal, who was injured during the team's final league match against Bangladesh. Verma's aggressive batting styles are often likened to that of famed former cricketer Virendra Sehwag, and Verma's performance incidentally also happens to break the record set by the latter in terms of being the youngest player across men and women's cricket to score a half-century. Where Sehwag was once held the record of being 24 years old and 154 days during the 2003 ODI World Cup final against Australia, which was then broken by Jessica Duffin of Australia in 2013 at the age of 23, and now Shefali Verma broke the record at 21 years and 278 days. The BCCI has announced a cash prize of Rs 51 crores for the women's team for winning their maiden World Cup title, which is higher than the money the team would be receiving from ICC. The Apex cricket body will be handing out the tournament winners a prize of USD $4.48 million, which roughly translates to Rs 39.78 crore rupees. When the story of this win is told, it will say that the win was, as reiterated before, led by Shefali Verma and Deepti Sharma. Deepti Sharma composed a spectacular half-century spell and aced a brilliant 5-wicket haul through the match. Fittingly so, with 20 wickets, she was named the player of the tournament. And fellow cricketers were swift in sharing their pride and appreciation at the women's cricket feat. Posts in tributes and honour flooded the internet as fellow sportsmen, Bollywood celebrities and fans all over gushed over the World Cup championship win. Particularly viral on the internet are the accolades and compliments that have come from fellow sportsmen and cricketing legends such as Sachin Tendulkar, Jhulan Goswami, Virendra Sehwag, Mithali Raj and Virat Kohli, amongst others. The winning team have, amid celebrations, shared heartwarming posts on social media acknowledging the landmark milestone and victory. The posts have swiftly gone viral, garnering much online love and more praises. From team captain Harmanpreet Kaur to player of the tournament Deepti Sharma, star players Jemima Rodriguez and Smriti Mandhana and more, the winning team's celebratory posts have taken the internet by storm. All right, we have Mithali Raj joining us on Trending this evening. Mithali, it's great to have you on this broadcast. Straight up, my very first question. India has waited to celebrate this moment in 2005, then again in 2017, and finally we've broken that cycle over here on Sunday. How does it feel from your vantage point?
I think it is a historic night, a defining a night for most of us former cricketers and the team itself. Everybody who've been part of the growth of women's cricket in our country, the evolution of the sport. It's been that night where history was rewritten and rescripted. India going on to win this World Cup.
Right. Mithali, there is a moment that I want to speak about. There's a moment where you're tearing up, you're lifting the cup yourself. If you can put into words, what is it that was running through your mind at that point of time, and what is it that you were thinking?
Well, we were close, as you said, we were close to lifting the trophy twice. Never got to get our hands on it, and then it felt like finally, the trophy is authentically we have won it fair and square, and you finally get to lift the trophy. It was very nice of the players as well on you're going around the ground appreciating all the people who've turned up to celebrate, to be part of this big moment, and that victory lap. And then some of them have also been part of the 2017 edition, 2022 edition. So it was a big night for all of us, and an emotional one as well, because when we've competed in the World Cups in the previous editions, we've always wanted India to at least win a World Cup, whether it's T20 or One Day World Cup. We waited for a long time, but it did happen. It is the reality now.
Yes. Mithali, if we look at the individual performances of our star players, be it a Harmanpreet Kaur or a Shefali Verma, and how their efforts, sort of blended into how the team led, India to its victory. What advice would you have for these young players so that here on they can defend this title in future tournaments?
I think I'm sure there will be a force to reckon in the coming years, because the setup is so robust now in Indian domestic cricket and with the WPL, because here, apart from credit going to the players for the hard work they've put in and the support staff constantly monitoring them and helping them through their preparation in the last couple of years, a huge credit should go to BCCI, especially to Mr. Jaisha, who was the former secretary of BCCI, because under him, he's the one who sort of got pay parity for women cricketers, equal match fees. He's the one who's launched and commercialized WPL. It's finished 3 seasons, and that is the league which has actually seen some talented players coming through the ranks like Amanjot Kaur or Sri Charani or Kranti God. All these players have come through WPL, and WPL has just not got these potential players, but it has also sort of helped players to sort of instill in them the belief that they are, whenever they get an opportunity, even it is a crunch situation, they're able to bail the team out, which we've seen during this tournament. And many players, they're different player of the match every game. So that shows that, there is more than 2-3 match winners in a side, and you require that sort of a team to pull a tournament like a World Cup. And a huge thanks to BCCI for giving them the resources, the facilities. In the last 2 years, the team has been competing, playing bilateral series with quality opponents, whether it's England, they've played Australia, and constantly putting up a 300 plus total. So all in all, it's just not a preparation, it's the availability of resources, the facilities, the camps, which is given to them, and the support staff. They've had one of the biggest support staff in the tournament. Like India had about 18 to 20 member support staff. So again, it is because of the BCCI, they're able to have access to all this. So it has helped them to sort of prepare, and WPL really played a huge role in the self-belief.
Absolutely. Mithali, you know, the internet has gone crazy over the last 24 hours, and I do have to ask you, there's one particular comment that is doing the rounds all across. You know, people are saying that it's because the senior players like you know, you walked, that these young girls got an opportunity to run. I really want to know, how would you react to it?
Well, it's the right saying, because see, there were times when India was competing in the World Cup and we were usually losing out in the semi-finals. I've played my first World Cup in 2000, and I've seen India lose to New Zealand in the semi-final. And since then, you know, there were a few editions where we reached the semi-final, we couldn't go beyond, or sometimes quarterfinals. 2005, 2017, twice we made it into the finals. Of course, 2017 missing out narrowly. I think that World Cup, yes, was a World Cup for India to win. But apart from that, I think it sort of changed the belief that, you know, we are no more just a participants in a marquee event like a World Cup. We are capable very much if prepared well, and if we have the right facilities, right backing, the team can really go further. And that exactly has happened. You know, it did took 8 years for the 2017 for Indian team to cross the line.
Yep. And, you know, if we talk about the journey that, you know, the Indian women's cricket team has seen over the last many years, we've been talking about how, you know, how things unfolded in 2005 and now how things are unfolding 20 years later. How would you really differentiate between the challenges that you faced when you were on the field versus the kind of challenges that, you know, these young girls face today?
And see, our challenges were mostly recognizing the sport in our country, the support system, the facilities, the visibility of the sport on television, getting the girls to play the sport. There were many challenges, of course, but over the years, I think coming under BCCI, things slowly started to change. And I should thank and appreciate Mr. Jaisha under his tenure as a secretary to BCCI. A lot of things have changed for women's cricket, and for good and for better, and that's the reason we're able to sort of see the results. For the current generation, I think in terms of facilities and resources, or the branding, or the commercials, I don't think that would be a challenge. What the challenge would be, that they would be judged. You know, the social media will be a challenge, how they are going to sort of work things around. But knowing the players, they found a way. Like, you know, usually before a big event, you want to distance yourself from social media and try to keep your energy more positive, and that's what sort of spreads around in a team environment. And you also have help, like, you know, you have a sports psychologist traveling with the team, where you can sort of interact and you know, express, be more vocal about your emotions. So I think these things do help, and the current generation is definitely better placed, because the number of games have increased. The venues they play are all test playing venues. You know, whether it is playing international games, at the frequency of the bilateral series has increased. The India A games are there for the players. The next string of players who are going to come, like the Shadow Series. Under 19 World Cup is there. They've already 2 editions were won by India. So you have, like, from that category, you have the young girls coming into the franchise league. You have the senior team. You have India A team. So there are different categories where there is a structure in place for players to sort of now aim to play for India and to aim to play for franchise league. And the state associations also are pumping into facilities and money to see that they're able to give the sort of facilities for the state teams, so they can sort of unearth players and talent who can then represent the country and make the state association proud. So in every aspect, you can see the growth. One big change is, yes, when you have your board looking it through the lens of equal pay parity, giving facilities equally to the women's team as to the men's team on the same platform, then the change starts to spread around in other aspects as well, which we've seen. It's just not on the ground, but off the field as well, in terms of viewership, people turning out to the stadium, because DY Patil was felt, you know, all 3 tiers. So it was good to see the stadium packed for each and every game of the Indian team in this World Cup.
Oh, absolutely, Mithali. We echo your sentiments there in celebrating these young girls. Thank you so much for joining us on Trending this evening.
Thank you.
And we also have former India team cricketer Inakshi Rajvanshi joining us on the broadcast this evening. Inakshi, thank you for giving us your perspective as India is celebrating this moment. My very first question to you, how do you feel looking at the colourful visuals, the celebration, the chants that were unfolding at DY Patil yesterday?
Like Mithali said, it was something that has brought about a big change. And I see a lot of parallels being drawn with the 1983 World Cup. But I think something that I want to say is that there were little fights that the women's cricket team was fighting much before the men's team won in 1983. The first match happened in, the first tournament happened in 1978. And it was only 5 years after when Kapil Dev lifted the trophy. So I feel all the parallels are being done, but there are this moment is testament to a lot of things that have happened over the years. There were times when we didn't even have contracts, central contracts. Only in 10 years ago, BCCI started giving central contracts, and until 2006, even BCCI, it wasn't part of BCCI. There was a separate committee for women's cricket. So I think a lot of things have changed. A lot of things now as a journalist, when I go to cover these matches, I used to see maybe 2-3 journalists that are there in the presses. But even in this tournament, I saw a little change. There are at least 5-10 journalists that are wanting to cover women's cricket. And I think from here, it's going to go up. It's the gender ratio, it's going to go up for sure. And I think Mithali beautifully explained the atmosphere at DY Patil yesterday. The special moment was when the youngsters gave the trophy to Julian and Mithali, who have been carrying women's cricket over these years. They have seen times when they had to travel in trains and stuff like that. And now they're getting all the facilities. A lot of changes have happened in the last few years, especially with WPA. I think one thing that I would like to mention is a lot of people now see women's cricket to be a lot more entertaining. I don't know why they had this perspective that it's not as entertaining. There have been so many times when I've seen cricket with other people and they're like, the ball's not swinging so much, or they're not hitting the right shots. And that was mostly coming from the misogynistic perspective of things. But now I think that will also change. A lot of young cricketers, a lot of young aspiring cricketers are now going to wear jerseys of Spriti and Harmanpreet and Deepthi and Jemima. I think we're going to see that in the stands. We're going to see a lot of these athletes on billboards, not just one or two. I think all these 15 girls will probably be on billboards and a lot of advertisements, and they will be household names now. And I think that is what we needed and wanted all this while since 1978, when Shantaranga Goswami or Shubhangi Kulkarni set the foundation. So I think it's just been really wonderful for the game itself.
Absolutely. Inakshi, we echo your sentiments over there. Thank you so much for joining us this evening on Trending.
Thank you.
And viewers, that's all that we could pack for you on this edition of Trending. More news that's topping the charts for you tomorrow. Stay tuned with us. On the other side, the debate with Arnab Goswami.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ. डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा. अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ. सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट